Do you know the story of the poppy? The First World War, or the Great War, started in 1914. Over 9 million men from all over the world joined the British Armed Forces. Conditions were terrible and millions were killed or injured. In Scotland, everyone knew someone who had died. Those that did return home would never be the same again. One of the largest battles of the war took place around the town of YPRES in the Flanders region of Belgium. While serving in Flanders, a Canadian doctor called John McCrae noticed how bright red poppies grew wild amid the war-torn landscape. Faced with the devastation surrounding him, he was inspired to write the poem In Flanders Fields. His poem became very popular, and the bright red poppy would soon be adopted as a symbol to remember all those who had fought in the war. The First World War ended at 11 o'clock in the morning on the 11th of November 1918. This was the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The war had lasted over 4 years. The 11th of November every year is called Remembrance Day or Armistice Day. After the war ended, people started making paper poppies to sell. They did this to make money to help sailors, soldiers and airmen who were coming home. These people are called ex-servicemen and women or veterans. On Remembrance Day, people wear a poppy, and at 11 o'clock in the morning they stop what they are doing for a 2-minute silence. They do this so they can remember all the veterans who have served their country in any war, not just the First World War. Remembrance Day happens every year in countries around the world. The poppy isn't the same everywhere. Some countries use different designs for their poppy or different flowers. In England, Wales and Northern Ireland, the poppy has 2 petals and a leaf. In Scotland, the poppy has 4 petals and no leaf. All the poppies sold in Scotland are made at Lady Haig's Poppy Factory in Edinburgh. When the factory first opened in 1926, all the poppies were handmade by just 2 ex-servicemen with some red paper and a pair of scissors. Today, there are over 35 ex-servicemen and women with disabilities who work in the factory. These men and women make 5 million poppies each year for the Scottish Poppy Appeal. They also make more than 15,000 wreaths and thousands of remembrance symbols. These include the Christian Cross, Muslim Crescent, Sikh Khanda, Hindu Om, Jewish Star of David and a symbol for humanists or those who are not religious. All the poppies are still made by hand, although a machine now cuts out the poppy shape. When all the poppies have been made, they are packaged up with collecting tins for the money and sent to volunteers all over Scotland. Every village, town and city in Scotland has volunteers who donate their time for free to sell poppies in their local area. Poppies are sold in lots of places. You can find them in shops, supermarkets, offices, schools, train stations, churches and hospitals. Volunteers collect the money made from selling poppies. They also hold fundraising events like jumble sales, cake sales and races to raise even more money. Thanks to all their hard work, volunteers raise millions of pounds from the people of Scotland every year. All the money raised is used by Poppy Scotland to help ex-servicemen and women in need after serving in the Army, Navy or Air Force. Poppy Scotland also help veterans' families, their wives, husbands, partners and children. All this from a tiny poppy.